I'm recording this tutorial for you to help you with the template that you needed for work. Now, Excel can look quite complicated, but it's actually very easy once you get a feel for it. Excel is basically one of the most commonly used programs that Microsoft offers, and there are thousands of tutorials online that can walk you through any questions you really need answered. Setting up the Excel spreadsheet in the beginning is often the most complicated and time-consuming part. However, once your spreadsheet is set up, it becomes really easy to fill in and really easy to use. Because I'm going to be walking you through some coding during this tutorial, it may look kind of complicated, but essentially, most of what I'm getting you to do is simple copy and paste. But because of the coding, you're going to look like a super smart person who understands how to operate the matrix. Excel uses a code called SQL. And SQL is basically the language we use to tell the computer what we want it to do. Kind of like talking to a calculator. To make this really easy, whenever you see me use a code, just pause the video to copy the code down and then make any changes based on what you need. And if you do get confused by any parts of it, just give me a call. Okay, so right now I'm just going to go up the top and open this Excel document. And what I've done so far is I've just put some different tiles in a few of the different cells based on what I thought you might need. So that includes the company name, the item, the cost, the original price, and two different types of discounts, and I'll explain them as I go further along. Okay, so one of the first things you're going to want to do when you open this page, if you're anything like me, is color it in. So if you just go to the icon, you can change that color to, say, purple, and then we can move over here, and this can be red, and if we go into more colors and click on that, I can now choose pink, and original price, I'll go back into it, more colors, I'm going to choose lilac. And this is essentially what I do on this thing. Like, to me, it's the most important part is making it look pretty. If this thing had an option for glitter, I'd pretty much be a lot more happier. So as you can see, I basically color code this in variations of blue, purple, and pink. So if you want a different color code, you can always change a different color code, and you can even click on the custom tab here and move all the different colors kind of across to something that you actually like. So I might just bring that, ooh, that's nice pink. Okay. So I have no idea of the names of any of the companies you guys operate through, but because you told me it's like a family business, we might say go with Emily's Deli, Allie's Deli, and Princess Clarissa. I think that's pretty awesome. Okay, so when you bring these on, if you can get a list and copy and paste it straight over of all the different companies you have, that'd be good. The other thing you can do is highlight all of these, right click and go down to sort, and you can sort them out. Always select continue with the current selection, then hit sort. So the next section that I wanted to go through was the item list. I didn't actually have a clue what you guys sold, so I went onto Google or Wikipedia and found a simple drop-down list of a couple of deli items. So what we want to do in this cell, which is B2, is create a drop-down list. And there are many different ways you can actually do it on Excel, but I'm going to run you through one of the quickest ways now, which is if we move down here where the little circle and the cross is, and open that to create a second Excel sheet. And then we'll go into the Word doc where I've saved that list that I copied from Google, Wikipedia or something, and we can just copy that, open the document, and in cell A1, click copy paste. I might actually move this apart a bit so you can make it out clearly. Now you do have the options up here in the little edit box for cut, copy and paste. However, if you're like me and you like doing things as quick and easy as possible, on this onboard keyboard here, if you hit Control X, it will cut. If you hit Control copy, it will copy. If you hit Control V, it will paste. So any material that you've highlighted, if you use any of those three options, it'll be a lot quicker. So I'll minimize that. And then what I want you to pay attention to is this list starts in cell A1 and finishes in cell A16. So if we go back onto sheet 1, what we want to do is create a drop-down list from the second sheet that goes from A1 down to A16. So we do this by, in the top tabs, select Data. Now if you scroll across to the side, you will see Data Validation. Open this. So in the dialog box that is opened in Settings, under any value, select List. Now, remembering back to where we put it before, what we need to do here is tell Excel that we need cell A1 to A16 on sheet 2. We do this by starting off with an equal sign, writing the word sheet 2 with an exclamation mark for some random reason to tell Excel that we're going to get this information of sheet 2. The next thing we're going to do is write down A1 to A16. The problem when you do this is, for some reason that I haven't quite figured out yet, it requires you to put in a dollar symbol and write A, dollar symbol 1, and then space it with a colon, and then dollar symbol A, dollar symbol 16. I don't know what the dollar symbols are used for, but that's basically how the code's written here. So if you want to pause the screen right now, that will allow you to copy down the code. So now I'm going to go and click OK. As you can see, in the drop-down box, you now have all 16 items that appeared on sheet 2. What you can do is click Control Copy and paste the exact same thing below, and Control Z to delete that action. Or if you move it from the big cross to the little cross, you can click on that and drag it all the way down. So as you can see, all the cells through to number 14 now will have that exact same drop-down list. And if you're selling the exact same products to all your different customers, you can do this the whole way down. So, if we move on to cost, I have no idea what anything is actually sold for. So, what I mean by cost is the cost you're selling it to the customer for. And as you mentioned, you had regular customers that have a different price range. And the original price is what you sell it to everybody for. So, back here, I just created a basic table, put a bunch of numbers in it, and we're going to say that what you sold it to this customer for was $2.30, but the original cost of the item was $3. This was the same, there was no discount, and the one below was sold to the customer for $2, and it had a value originally of $3. So I'm just going to copy and paste everything here, go back into Excel, open up sheet 2, and in cell B1, I'm just going to paste that. Now, because these are dollar values, one of the easiest things you can do to actually realize that they're dollar values is just come back over here and click the dollar sign, and that will give you dollar values for everything. So back on sheet 1, what we want to do is, if you select any item from column B, we want the exact cost that you sold it to the customer for to come up in column C, and the original price to come up in column D. Now this is where coding comes into place. This is going to look really complicated, but I promise you it isn't. Okay, so what we need to do is, it's called an if-then code. So if one item is selected in B, something will come up in column C. So the code for that is written like this. So if and that's the cell you want it to be in. Sheet A1, what's written there? You want the column right beside it to appear in the next cell over. So depending on how many items you use, this is where the copy and paste on the keyboard comes in handy. All I want you to do, Control copy, comma, Control paste, Control paste, Control paste, Control paste. And that will bring up a code that looks very similar to that. Sort of comes up weird, but I'm quite sure that's just the way the Word doc is. Now, every time it repeats, I want you to change something simple, which is the number 1. We're going to change that to the number 2, and the number 1 here, we're going to change to the number 2. Then on the next one, we're going to change the number 1 to the number 3, and the number 1 to the number 3. Same as the next one would go number 4. So you can copy it there to write the code down and hit pause, but a simple copy and paste generally does the job. Here's one I prepared earlier. Okay, so I'm going to copy that so I can show you over on the Excel document. So in cell C2, I'm going to click on that and then I'm going to paste it. And so as you can see, nothing was selected in cell B, so this is going to come up as 0. However, when we select sliced hard cheese, the cost comes up as $9.30. And if we go into sheet 2, you can see that the price of sliced hard cheese is $9.30. Now, to get the code for the original price, we do something slightly different. So that code that you've now written down and changed all the numbers across from the number 1 going all the way up to however many items you had, what I want you to change is the letter B to the letter C, and that'll show you that you want column C to be selected. So as you can see, when I've gone across here, I've changed the B to a C, and once again I've changed it to a C. Whether it's in caps lock or not doesn't really matter, but the code does kind of look like the matrix, so it is pretty cool. So I'm just going to copy that, open up the Word doc, and then in cell D2 I'm going to hit paste, and I can literally grab this column, drag it down on both of them, and depending on the different items selected, you can see it's the exact same thing, and if we move to goat's cheese, it's different, and if we move to cold salads, you're going to get a different price there. But the main thing I wanted to stress is when it comes to setting up a document like this, the more effort you put in at the start, the better it is. So if you've got particular customers that have a different discount to everybody else, you're best off having sheet 2 as your regular discount codes, and then let's say that Princess Clarissa gets the biggest discount because she's the most special. So we're going to set up a new sheet for her and double click on it, double click on sheet 3, and this is going to be Princess Clarissa's personal one. So everything that we originally had on sheet 2, going to copy everything here, open Clarissa's document, Control paste, and then you can easily change any of the customer cost discounts to go down there in column B and make all the changes that you need. And then that way when you go back onto sheet 1, in Princess Clarissa's row, when you've done your really cool coding, rather than writing sheet 2, which is the same as everybody else, you write in Princess Clarissa and her personal one comes up. Okay, so I hope you've understood that, and I know that I've given you like a lot of information in just a few minutes, so I hope I didn't overload you. But what I'm going to go on to now is showing you what I mean by a discount code. And there's 2 different ways you can go about getting it. So one I want it to tell me how much of a discount it gave you. So the way I would do that is by turning Excel into a calculator. Now, if you want Excel to do anything for you, you always start off with the equal sign. And what I'm going to do in brackets is I want to work out the percentage that was taken away for the customer. So I'm going to write in the original price minus the cost, then use the calculation code, and then tell me that I want it off the original price. So the original price is located in cell D2, minus the cost price, which is located in cell C2, close bracket. Now their little code in order to do this is dash ABS. And then in brackets again, we're going to put D2 just to tell me that I want the discount off the original price. So I don't want the discount off the cost price, I want the discount off the original price, hence why it's in cell D2 in brackets after that. And then you just hit the enter button and it will come up with a decimal place. Now, like I said with changing these to dollar values by just clicking that little dollar symbol at the top, you can also click the little percentage symbol and it will tell you that you gave that customer a 38% discount. The other way you can do this is, let's say that you didn't know what you sold, you didn't know what the cost price that you sold it to the customer was, but your boss wanted to give the customer a 38% discount off the original price. The way we'd go about entering that into Excel is once again hitting that equals button, and then we want the original price, which in this case is located in cell D2, minus, in brackets, the percent discount, which is located in cell E2. And for some reason, it's this funny little symbol above the letter 8, which is the times, the multiplication thing, times the original price, which is once again cell D2. Close bracket, enter. So that has a discount of $9.30. So yeah, that makes it rather simple to follow, but it really depends on what you want to do with the program. And I hope some of this has made a little bit of sense. But yeah, you can move it all the way down and simply just drag things. Once you've got this set up, punching in numbers becomes really, 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 really easy. So yeah, hope you liked it, and I hope it actually works for you. Okay, bye!